My name is Anne Edegård. I work at Vatten, the biggest water production company, drinking water company. I'll just switch to Swedish and say a few words to explain why Åland's water is working with this. Or maybe I should have it in English, of course. Sorry.
Well.
Yeah. Ålands Vatten, Åland Water, the biggest drinking water producer on Åland. We take the raw water that we make drinking water from 3 lakes, and 2 of them are very eutrophic, problems with too many nutrients. And we work with different projects to improve the water quality, which makes the water production more sustainable. And one of the things that we have pinpointed to work with is agriculture. That's why we have this poster here today. That's our previous projects towards farmers. Things every farmer can do without cost, but small apples to pick that are easy for anyone to implement without affecting their efficiency or production or otherwise. Hej, välkommen. So agricultural projects are one of the projects we've been working with. We've been working with other information enhancing projects just about drinking water and projects with sewage to lessen that in the catchment area around our lakes. But now, since a few years, we've been working with Patricia Wiklund at Indenire in this project called Smarta Vatten, and we also have Tage here, he's in our steering group, and Olivier de Schetsen, one of the consultants we have been using within the projects. And in the previous project, we worked more within the catchment area and tried to promote things that every farmer could do. And then in Smarta Vatten, we've been working with demo farms, pilot farms, and more hands-on activities. And I don't think they are coming here. Yeah. Well, anyway, with those words, I am very happy to have you here, and we're going to listen to the Soli Deal for Europe. And when you are finished, or when you have done what you think for tonight, we will have a conversation about what you in the audience think that could be done on Åland concerning Soli Deal Europe. And we will have it very informal, but if we want, someone could lead the conversation, and I've asked Sölve, our CEO on Ålands Vatten, to do that if necessary. We'll see where we end up. Patricia, would you like to say anything? About tomorrow, maybe?
Yes,
a bigger picture?
And why Kerttu is here and so on. Yes.
Thank you.
For spending all my life.
Just a few comments. I think it's very nice to have you here. Very glad to see you here. And the program for you now this week, you're here the week, and now today you have the presentation, and we'll talk a little bit about the soil project. But then tomorrow we are bringing the soil more into the food. So tomorrow night at Havsvid, then Kerttu together with Peter Pihel are having something called Soil Talks, where we more or less bring the question of soil and what it means to us normal people who don't work with agriculture all the time, what soil can mean to us and how the soil expresses itself also in the food. So it's going to be really interesting to see. There will be a discussion about soil with different players from the food system, and then there will be a very exciting dinner with 2 chefs combining their skills and using quite a lot of the different produce from Åland. So that is your official week, and then you had one request when you were coming, and you said, I need to see goats, and you have just confirmed that you saw a goat, so we have check on that, so now we can send Kerttu back. So it's okay, so I'm pleased with that. So anyway, but the topic today, I think it's always feels like it's something far away. It's EU, it's the Commission, it's the Parliament talking about different things that feel very far away from us. But I think that hopefully Kerttu can bring these topics a little bit closer to us and what they really mean for us, and also maybe bring a little bit of preparedness, because some of these things that you're going to talk about are really coming into lawmaking and starting to affect all kinds of different stakeholders in the society. So I think it's also time for us to start thinking about what it actually will mean for us. So very much looking forward to your points, and then we put on also to that you talk a little bit about what it means for Åland. So that will be an interesting challenge for you as well. But we can have a discussion about it.
I think this could be more about the discussion part, but I do have some things that could make sense. Again, I am Kerttu. I come from the Center of Rural Research in Estonia, and I am the coordinator of EU Mission Soil. They took me to work, I think, about 2 years ago, because the soil mission was already been on for 2 years, and nobody knew what it was all about. So they finally thought that it would be a good idea to take somebody to work who understands it, or who takes the time to understand it, and then spread the word. So my work is not only to work for my own organization, but also to support the mission activities throughout Estonia, find different partnerships, and do all kinds of different soil-related activities. I'm lucky enough to have a really good boss that I can really work with the things that I find important. And and I think in the past 2 years we have made it possible that the soil is very much more seen than before in the Estonian scene. So, and now to the missions. Why are they called missions? So the EU missions are the most important part of the EU research and innovation program. The concept is derived from the mission-oriented innovation program that is conceptualized by this economist, Mariana Mazzucato. She said that up until that time, most of the funding programs were pretty thin, and Europe should move more towards having really, really big goals and having bigger pots of money over there. So the mission name, this really goes back to the 60s when Kennedy said that we shall put the man on the moon. And this was a very big thing. It seemed like super impossible. But this was a big goal that brought all of the society together, researchers, policymakers, engineers. Everybody put their backs together. It was a clear goal, a very bold goal. And within a decade, the first man landed on the moon. It was in July in the 69, I think, when the Apollo 11 crew, the 3 men with Neil Armstrong leadership, then landed on the moon. And so these missions, I have to go back. The missions are now the Europe's their take on the moonshot. We take something that's like super important, like hunger, climate change, the growth of human population, the depletion of resources, and we take all of the related stakeholders together and make it work and have a really tangible goals there. So, so this is the thinking that influenced the design of Horizon Europe program there. And that's why they are called the missions. Also, the mission part. It's a cross-sector approach there. They're not just research, they combine different stakeholders, as I said before, and also these are made to be out very important for the higher, like wider society and the citizens there. They have very clear targets, like 100 climate neutral cities, 100 lighthouses, then the oceans are restored, cancer is beaten. Well, it's a nice goal, but it's and also they have a timeline there, like we will restore the soil health by 2050 or 2030, or so it's very, very oriented there. And it's financed through the Horizon projects there, and it also supports implementing all different European Commission documents, like the Green Deal, there's a cancer deal, also climate missions there, so this is a good tool for that. So there are 5 missions. They were launched in the early November of 2021. And the main missions are there: the adaptation to climate change, helping Europe to prepare and adapt to the impacts of climate change. Cancer, beating the cancer, because this is one of the biggest human health challenges there is around. Also, restoration of ocean and waters, the climate neutral cities, and the Soil Deal for Europe. And these are all of the 5 missions are meant to work in all together, because soil is at the bottom of it. Then there is cities on the soil. People live in the cities. They have cancer. They breathe the air. They use the water. The water is purified by the soil. So it's all working together in synergies. And hopefully they will deliver like really good results if they work together. In the first years of the program, all of the missions were very separate, but now in the last programs, they do have joint calls there, like bringing together cancer and cities, cancer and the oceans there, soil and the cities. So they're really, I think it's like really, really nice. So, and here is also, I wanted to show this graph here. All of the missions have an icon there, and something that makes me like really sad, that soil is something that's really hard to visualize nicely. It's always like a sad blob with a plant on it, and in worst case it's like somebody holding soil in their hands, because soil is very, very powerful, and it doesn't need us at all, but at this point we have depleted it into a state that it's needs this. So now on to the soil mission. This is a very nice quote that I like from Aldo Leopold, who is a writer from the States and also environmentalist. That soil has been seen as a commodity for a long time, and this is something that has affected that we are here today. According to the JRC study, 65 to 70% of Europe's soils are depleted or in a bad state. This is sounds very harsh, but this is actually the way it is. It also takes into account that in this value, they also take into account that if you have one soil indicator bad, then it's all bad. But I think this is not an overestimation. It is pretty sad. So. And if we see the land as a community instead of a commodity, then we can all bring it back to life and have more life for ourselves. Because if we don't have soils, then we don't have food, and we don't have food, then we die. So that's the easy truth. The mission soil has 8 main objectives that main 8 things that it wants to tackle. Is to stop erosion, compaction, soil sealing, and contamination. Conserve and increase the soil organic carbon, because this is where the good stuff is, and it's very important for also climate change and for soil life and everything that's really important in soil. Also, stop sealing and increase the use of urban soils, which is, I think that's very important because today in construction, a lot of soils are just taken away and just left somewhere, or left in piles, or made into these noise reduction walls. And this is not what soil wants to do. Soil wants to live. And regarding this objective, I've had a really nice chance to work with a huge construction company this year that is making like a nature building in the center of, not in the center of Tallinn, the capital of Estonia, but near a harbor there. They're making this huge nature building, which will be the home of the climate ministry and different nature-related agencies. And they want to do all the landscaping with reused soils. So, and they have different, 13 different plant communities there, that's right, communities there that are very specific to Estonia in different regions. So I've been driving around different construction sites and railway construction and places to just find soils and give them a new home. So this is very, very nice. And this really nicely aligns with one of these objectives that don't just throw the soil away, but give it a new home where it can live and thrive and do its soil work. Also reduce pollution and enhance restoration. And this is of course very important because the soils are in many places very polluted, full of plastics, PFAS and whatnot. Also pesticides and well, whatever you've put in there. When I was digging my garden soil, I found an old bathtub there. And that's true. So people have, in Estonia at least, people have had the tendency to use soils and also forests as a dump yard. So please don't. Then restore degraded land and remediate contaminated sites. Improve soil structure to make more room for soil life and also other properties that are good for soil. And reduce the global footprint on soils because the amount of money that goes into restoration of soils is huge considered to that amount that the soils could add value. So big objectives, all very smart. To obtain these objectives, the soil mission works in 4 pillars that make it happen. So the first and most important idea of soil mission is to create at least 100 living labs and lighthouses across Europe, where the different solutions can be co-created and demonstrated and tested. The other one is, well, actually the research and innovation is the first pillar. They themselves call it the first pillar, but I like to see it as a second one because this is the part that feeds the living labs and also ensures that the science is very much applied. So not enough of doing research for research. Now it's time to actually look up the things that we really need to know how to improve our lands. Then also the part of soil monitoring, to build the harmonized framework for soil monitoring and have a target of that 75% of the EU soils are healthy by 2030. And this is very ambitious because as of today, they have stated that 70% of the soils are depleted or degraded. And now within 5 years, we are going to make it better. Well, I think it's better to be overly ambitious than not, but yes, as of today, the Soil Resilience and Monitoring Directive is in the EU Commission in another reading, and hopefully it will be passed. Thank you, passed in October. But a lot of countries, farmer societies are very much against it for some reason because probably they feel a bit intimidated by it, but it doesn't bring anything for the farmers, no extra things to do or no extra paperwork or just it could be a good thing, but we'll see what happens. Because I really do believe that having a harmonized framework is crucial for tackling these challenges, because in a lot of parts in the EU we don't actually know what's going on. So this could be good. Up until now, the Lucas monitoring has been going on, but for example, small countries like Estonia with super heterogenic soil cover there, the framework is too large, the squares are too large, you can't use it, because in Estonia it's very common that in one field, and the fields are not very big, is like 4 to 6 different soil types there with all different needs for fertilization, agrotechnology, liming, or whatever. So this could be really good. And then I think for me the most important part is the citizen engagement and soil literacy, because what I see is that the research doesn't improve the soil, or the policy doesn't improve the soil. It's the farmers and this behavioral change that actually drives the change. So this is what it is. So now a bit more about the living labs. So this is the, do you know anything about the living labs? No? Well, living labs is the main instrument of the Soil Deal. Living lab is also something that's kind of a buzzword nowadays. I think a lot of other instruments use living lab as a thing, but in relation to the soil mission, it's a place-based open innovation environment that the science is done not in the lab but on the site. And also it's very important that the solutions or the things to research or the research problems are not made up by researchers in their cabinets. And I have been a researcher myself, and I'm not saying anything bad, but oftentimes researchers find something that appeals to them, and then they study it, they find something, and then they try to find ways to how can we implement it, or how can we scale it, or what do we do with this? So this is a very top-down movement, that the problems and the solutions come from the places where the problems are, in like specific regions or bioregions or bigger regions, and also the solutions are developed jointly. That not only the farmers do it, but also the policymakers add in, the researchers come in, in cases communities can come in there, and all of the work is done in real life settings, in farms, forests, different landscapes, around lakes, or whatever is relevant. As I said before, it's very important to have a multi-actor collaboration, diverse partners there, science, practice, policy. And yeah, the society. In case of soils, we usually have farmers, different kind of natural scientists there. In Estonia, the ministries are very much involved, and also in some places local communities, and everybody who could benefit to this solution. And scalability. This is the point where the lighthouses come in. Every living lab environment should have a lighthouse farm that could be like a demonstration site for best practices, and a way to exchange practices, and also ensure that there is scalability. So in the context of, for example, Estonia, one living lab could be like a set of 10 to 15 different farms that are all working in, let's say, different conditions, but testing the same solutions and seeing how we could work there. I made an example here, like if we also have a boreal living lab setup, and the boreal zone is this year's focus there. For example, the farmers can experiment with practices that are adapted to local soils, like different cover crops, like rye or wedge, for example, that are suitable for the boreal winters there. They can try different tillages there that are suitable for clayier or peaty soils there, or also like showcase or demonstrate how to use alternative crops or polyculture. like grow reed or berries, or test these solutions out with the support of EU. Because, example, in Estonia, it's a really big, I wouldn't say a problem, but criticism from the farmers that they have to be the testers of everything, and nobody supports it. And they have to take the risks there, but this could be done jointly in a better way. So this is one stakeholder group. Then the researchers come in, they measure different indicators like carbon fluxes, biology, water quality. This is also a very big case in Estonia, and I've heard also here, right? The leaching and the eutrophication of different water bodies. Then the local advisors and cooperatives come in to translate this research into understandable language and spread the knowledge there. Policymakers test different incentives and see how to support the farmers more. And then, for example, higher education schools or lower schools can do some citizen science there. And all are working on the same thing, coming together, finding a good solution, and then we can go out and scale it. So this is a very typical living lab setup. As of today, unfortunately in Estonia, we don't have any living labs. I think Finland has some, but not here. Or do you have any? No. But we are hoping to get some in the next call. So if we take this setup, then we could have potential different outcomes. Like we have identified best practices for this approach. We have reduced the nutrient leaching into the Baltic Sea, and we have a demonstrating site to demonstrate these findings, and also we have farmer-led networks. So this could be a potential outcome of a living lab. So now on to the living labs that have been established for now. Up to today, there have been 2 different living lab calls, and this is the result of the first call. The last call was in 2024, but I don't think it's open yet who got the money from it. It is known. The commission knows who got the money, but they usually publish the dates the data in like early October or so. But this is the first wave of living labs, and as you can see, they are very condensed in a small part of Europe. And so 5 different projects were funded with 25 different sites on different land use. We have agriculture, forestry, post-industrial, peri-urban, and natural sites there. And as you can see, they're very, very condensed in a very small, not a small area, but in a very big area. And this is and as you can see, the boreal region and our region here is very much not covered yet. But here's a good chart that shows how ambitious and like active is the part of Europe that's getting all the funding there. They are here. They have all the living labs. Finland is here. Sweden is here. Estonia is somewhere here. So yeah, they are really, really. Oh, Estonia is here, but we're still better than Latvia. That's the most important part. Yes, we're far better. Yes. So
Easier as well, so that's good.
yeah, that's very important. But yeah, the Spain, Italy, and Greece, they are very, very active in the different calls there, and I think it's good also because the state of Spanish soils, it's horrible. So good that they are working on it. But yeah, as as it's very condensed, now the next horizon calls will focus on different biographical zones. As of today, the Mediterranean zone is covered by almost half of the living labs, then the continental, and then the Atlantic. So this part here is pretty much done now. And this is how the EU Commission would like to have the living labs there. This is the green one is how it should be and how we would want to have the living labs there, and this is the current state there. So and this is why this year's call was very much focused on the continental, boreal, and Atlantic zones. And sadly, this will be the last year that our zone will be extra highlighted. Next year's call will focus on still on the continental one, because this is where they want the most. And now it will also go to the steppe and Arctic one. So soil mission goes on until 2027. So we have like 3 calls more. So, but I know also for a fact that I think in 26 or 27 there will be a separate call for the Baltic Sea, or like not the Baltic Sea, but it's set there somehow that we have a good chance again to apply for living labs money there. So yes. Is there anything you would like to ask about the living labs? No, you don't have to ask about the living labs. Yes.
So the living labs, you said that the main goal is to not have science be done in the ivory tower of...
Yeah, just not for research sake, yeah.
Yeah. And so what would you say are some of the key problems, or why are living labs then so needed? Okay, so I understand that science has been more applied, but where does this come from farmers or?
For the living labs? I think it's one way of Europe's it's one way of ensuring longevity, to not only to do just research and then the project's ended, but then to have like a set of sites where you could have longer data sets and to have a wider impact. I think this is the point there, and also to take the input from the farmers, or not in the farmers per se, but where it's actually needed. Because the missions is a way to react to society's problems, and food scarcity and environmental depletion is actually a very big problem, and also the poor state of water bodies, and they have tried everything else. Then why not this?
So these living labs, they're not just EU projects at end. They get started by EU money, but then they need to live on.
Yeah, well, that could be the idea, and this is something that we have been trying to do in Estonia also, to get like continuous, or like not continuous, but get like some reassurance from the government that if we get this going, will you help us to move on with it? Because from different ministries, they have been said that they would be very happy to have a set of like long-term sites that could test different things, that could also serve as a framework for different policies or incentives. But yeah, it always is. It could be nice, and we would try to do it. But this is like something that could actually like really make it happen. That if we find the money.
I think one thing that they're also looking for is to deal with complexity, because I think these research projects quite often they try to limit the factors to quite only a few.
Yeah,
try to research that, but in this form with living labs, they are actually forced to also deal with the complexity of the farms.
Yeah.
And all the different conditions that are there in real life, and I think it's also from EU a little bit of a gentle push of some scientists to go out in the real world and deal with the
gentle
real
push.
problems of soil health.
We give you 130 million.
Yes.
Gently, just do something with it. And also the cool thing about these missions is that they like bring together different research. What's the word?
Domains.
Yeah, like you don't have only natural sciences, but you have social sciences there and economists, and they see it as a big picture. So I think it's a really nice approach. And I've heard that the missions will continue after this funding period. So there is hope that after we have the chance to set out the living labs, there will be also EU money to, if not government money, then EU money to keep it alive. So in addition to the living labs, for me the second very important part is the public awareness of soils. because the baseline of soil awareness is very, very low. And this is also said in different surveys that people reckon that clean air is important and clean water is important, that we do need soils, but soil like really doesn't come to mind for people. And in different conversations or different talks I've given, I've asked people that how often do you think about soil? And they really like look at me like really weird, like why would I? I'm not dead yet, but yeah. But then I asked, but do you like to eat or drink or breathe or exercise or I don't know, whatever? And then they say that this is all thanks to soil. Then they start thinking that maybe this is something that we should think about. And of course, the awareness is higher among farmers, but it's very much low in the general public. And this is why we also started with soil talks, and I will talk about it a bit later. And as I said, many people just see it as dirt or something you dig graves in or put your buildings on, or but it's very much alive. It supports your food, your water, your everyday life more than you ever think about. Well, hopefully you think about it more, but the general idea is very low. And why this really much matters is, especially for communities such as Åland, it boosts behavioral change because, and this on the other hand gives more life to the different communities. It boosts your change. It makes you do better choices. It makes you maybe support your local farmers, support organic, to compost your waste, to even reduce waste, or start to more think about that. This is something that really, really matters to everybody. Also, this could boost a cultural shift. That I think many years ago, speaking about climate was also very weird. But I think now it's in a point that, like it or not, people think about climate change and they think about climate. So this is also something that could happen to soil. And policy support. If people start to understand why it's important and why we should work on it, it's easier for the EU to justify their investments and also make the laws against soil restoration more strict, and people won't be that upset about it. So within the framework of the soil mission, there's in every call there are very many different ways of doing this, but here I listed like a few. It's like almost 10 different EU soil mission soil literacy boosting projects. The first ones are for more preparing the people and different parties for the soil mission, and they were launched in the beginning years. And this is like really interesting that you have to have a project to prepare people for a project. But it was definitely necessary because in the early years the mission soil was not very seen, not very understood, but now, 4 years in, people are starting to get the hang of it, that this is something that's really useful. So the LOS, Hamas, Solo, Echo, and Soilscape are really nice projects that really are about boosting society engagement. They do different kinds of arts there. They have all kinds of different stuff there, but mostly, well, not mostly, but much are about different soil literacy apps. But the Hamas one is about engaging smaller municipalities to make the soil theme a bit bigger there. And and I think my favorite one is the soil tribes, which is building communities for soil health to make soil closer to people again. And it supports all kind of different events and art projects and whatnot, because soil can be gone about in very different ways. It doesn't have to be just on a farm or playing in the dirt. It can be art. It can be food. So and this is a way to really bring it closer to people. And also, one part of soil mission projects is very much about monetizing soil health. And this is, I also wrote the novel Soil down there. I'm also a part of it. But yeah, there are many projects that also try to boost the understanding of soil health for farmers. And Nova Soil is one of them. It has two sister projects as well, Invest Soil and Soil Values, that are all working on the same thing. And the main theme is there to come up with new business models that make soils healthier and also make money for the farmer. So yeah, this is great.
So the question, all
Yeah.
those projects, are they sort of ready and closed, or are they still open up for different partners to join, or how are they operating these?
They're operating in different ways. Some of them are doing open calls to support smaller funds, for example, the Soil Tribes one. Some of them, I think the Prep Soil and the Nations are already ended, but the Hummus one, I think the Eco one also does like extra funding, because yeah, that's their idea to have a framework for their type of citizen engagement, and then like fund smaller projects through that. And that's like, yeah, super nice. And the I don't have it here, but there's also one that I really like. It's curious soil. That's for waking your curiosity for soil, and it's for mostly for sensory experiences and teaching kids about soil. So yeah, her. But I think mostly she teaches me about soil. So
What is that called?
curious soil. Yeah, and I'm thinking, is there anything I have forgotten? No. Yes, I think all of them are here. So, and also a way of increasing soil literacy is, I think, a lot of different target groups are thinking for themselves. Like you can do it through food or through different events. And this is a part where I wanted to talk a bit about soil talks that we're having a event on tomorrow. And I think actually that soil talks is like a really good example of citizen-led activism that really wants to highlight soil life. And soil talks is, I wouldn't call it a project because it doesn't have like a set time frame or budget or any goals, but this is me, and this is my good friend Peter, and we have known each other for like, I don't know, 20 years. And a while ago, Peter is a chef, and he has been he's been cooking for a long time, and he's especially known for being very sustainable and very like locally oriented. And we started talking, I think it was last winter, and he was saying that maybe we should do something together, because you work with soil and you like to talk about soil, and I like to cook and use ingredients that is sustainably produced, that maybe we should do something together. And then we came up with Soil Talks. And this is it has been a really cute event series that begins with a panel discussion at some restaurant where we have very different people there. We have chefs, we have educators there, we have farmers there. We've had people from farmers markets there, beef farmers, well, many chefs and restaurateurs and food innovators there. Come again?
Ministry people.
Ministry people, yes, of course, the ministry people we have there. So, and then we have a really, really nice open discussion there. It's called the panel discussion, but it's actually just a discussion where we just talk about soils and how this relates to their work and food. And the idea is just to make the soils subject a bit edible for people who eat and make them think about it. So yeah, and then it's followed by a shared meal that is crafted by usually my friend Peter and a local chef, using as local ingredients as possible. And we always partner with restaurants that share the same mission to source locally, and if possible, then restore soil health. And we've had, oh wow, this is the 5th event already tomorrow. So that's really, really nice. So if you are free tomorrow, and if there are places still, do you know?
I don't know if we managed to promise that, but we can.
Yes.
If someone
Yes.
get it very
Yeah.
excited. We can.
Yes. So this is but yeah, well, although it's my initiative, I really actually see it. That's like pretty cool, because this is not something I would have thought of a few years ago, but it's actually it's pretty nice.
And for sure, there's room to come and listen to the discussion.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
if someone wants
That's definitely, we have definite room for that. The discussion will be like around an hour, and we will just explore topics like just soil health and what does it mean for you, and how to make soil more relatable for everyday life. Oh wow, I've been talking so long. I'll just wrap it up quickly, and then we can have a bit of discussion. What's a really cool thing about Soil Mission, that there's a project hub that I would like to show you, but just showcase you. You can look it up yourselves, because on the mission platform there's a project hub where you can look up all the different projects there. You can search by the objectives, the funding program, the period, country, and also you can freely download all the data that's related to the project there. And also what I really like about this is that you can also search by the specific objectives of the mission. And cool takeaway. If you're more interested in the soil mission, that there's a project hub where all of the projects that are funded are listed. It doesn't matter if they are already ended or not, because if they're funded, then they're listed. So I think that's mostly all for me. If I have forgotten anything important, or you have any questions, then shoot.